Aiton sat in the silent room, her heart racing as the echoes of the past filled her mind. The police had finally uncovered the secret room in her late grandfather's estate, behind a locked door no one had dared to touch for years. Inside, old dusty files, a locked box, and a letter sealed with a wax stamp carried the weight of forgotten truths. She carefully opened the letter, her hands trembling. To my dearest Aiton, if you are reading this, it means you have survived the lies and shadows surrounding our family. Everything I built, everything I protected will now be yours. On your 18th birthday, all assets, properties, and businesses will be legally transferred to you. If by fate you are not alive, it is to be donated to charity. Never let greed guide your heart. Trust no one, especially those closest to you. Grandfather. Tears filled Aiton's eyes. Her grandfather had known. He had seen it coming. That's why she was never allowed to stay alone with her aunt and uncle as a child. But after his death, she had been thrown into their care and their cruelty. Matten entered the room quietly, seeing the change in her eyes. "What's in the letter?" he asked gently. Aiton handed it to him without a word. As he read, his face tightened with shock and rage. "They tried to sell you for wealth," he whispered. "They treated you like a servant, but kept you alive only because they needed your name to survive." Aiton nodded. "And now we know everything." Just then, the police investigator returned with more documents, property transfers, forged papers, and voice recordings hidden inside a wall panel. "This," the officer said, "is enough to bring them down. Justice will be served." Aiton stood tall. The scared girl who once obeyed without question was gone. In her place stood a woman ready to take her life back and everything that was stolen from her. The courtroom was packed. Journalists, lawyers, and distant relatives all turned to watch as Aiton stepped forward, confidence radiating from her. The trial of the year was about to begin, and she was at the center of it. Across the room, her aunt, uncle, and cousin Duru sat with their lawyers. Their faces were pale, masks of false innocence cracking under the weight of truth. The judge entered, and silence fell. Aiton's lawyer began with the evidence: hidden cameras, voice recordings, bank transfers, and the most powerful of all, her grandfather's letter. "Your Honor," the lawyer declared, "the defendants didn't just emotionally and physically abuse Aiton. They attempted to steal everything her grandfather left for her. They plotted, they lied, and they nearly succeeded. This wasn't family. This was a crime." Aiton sat still, eyes fixed on Duru. Duru, who had once pretended to be her sister. Duru, who had drugged Arel, sent fake photos and faked audio clips just to destroy her. And Arel, he was there too. He sat behind Aiton, his face filled with guilt and love. He had almost lost her, but now he stood by her side. The judge reviewed the letter, then the financial documents. This court recognizes the rightful ownership of Aiton Alieva. All previously transferred assets are to be returned to her name immediately. Gasps echoed in the courtroom. And regarding the charges of fraud, abuse, and attempted coercion, the judge continued, the court finds the defendants guilty. Duru broke down crying. Her mother shouted. Her father sat frozen, realizing that their empire built on lies was falling apart. Aiton stood up slowly. She looked at them one last time and said quietly, "You tried to break me." But I rose. Outside, as the reporters crowded around her, Aiton simply smiled and said, "This isn't the end. It's only the beginning." The morning sun streamed through the tall windows of the Alieva Corporation headquarters. The name Alieva now stood proudly once more on the building's marble facade, restored, renewed, and unstoppable. Aiton stepped into the boardroom wearing a crisp navy blue suit. The room full of executives rose in respect. Gone was the quiet, mistreated girl of the past. Before them stood the rightful heir, the new CEO. She took her seat at the head of the table. "We're not just rebuilding," she said, her voice calm yet firm. "We're reinventing. My grandfather's values were honesty, vision, and compassion. From today on, that's the heart of this company." The board members nodded. Even the oldest and most traditional of them respected her courage. Outside the company, Aiton became a symbol of resilience in Baku. Newspapers called her the Phoenix of the Caspian. Interviews, offers, and speeches followed, but she never let the fame distract her from her mission. At home, Arel stood in the kitchen, preparing breakfast. He had apologized 1,000 times for doubting her. Aiton had forgiven him, not because he begged, but because he proved himself. When no one else had, he had come back to stand with her. "You're going to be late, CEO," he teased, placing a kiss on her forehead. She smiled. "And you're going to burn the toast again." They both laughed. That evening, after a long day at the office, Aiton visited her grandfather's grave. She laid fresh white flowers and placed a letter on the stone. "I did it, Baba," she whispered. "I kept your name alive." Behind her, a breeze carried the scent of blooming jasmine. Peace, strength, legacy. And the story was far from over.